It's Watch Wrestling with Mike Wellman, yo. Hit the mat hard, let the punches throw. Slams in the drama, your new favorite show. We drop the hot takes, keep the crowd in the flow. Clotheslines, power bombs, suplex the beat. Tune in weekly, we'll take the hot seat. From the ring to the street, the vibe stays elite. Watch Wrestling with Mike, nobody can compete. The face and the heel, we break down the deal. Wrestling fan Kris, the man and the myth. Voice of the people, that's a hypodermic needle. Clotheslines, power bombs, suplex the beat. Tune the beat, tune in weekly, we'll take the hot seat.
Yes, y'all. What's up, gang? Welcome to Watch Wrestling with Mike Wellman, the podcast that breaks down the biggest stories in and out of the ring. I am your host. My name is Mike Wellman. Thank you for hitting that play button. We appreciate you as always, folks. It is 2026, and we are late to the party as usual. But as I said, we are here to break down the biggest stories in and out of the ring, and I could not do so without my esteemed colleague, the former owner of Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, Jack Tunney. Are you there, Jack?
Thank you, Howard.
Just kidding, folks. It is, of course, wrestling fan Kris, the man and the myth, the voice of the people. Yes, Taz, that is a hypodermic needle. What's up, Kris?
What's going on? Welcome.
Yeah, so hey, Kris, you want to talk about some wrestling?
Might as well.
So, folks, this is our first episode for 2026. The goal here is much more content in 2026. And we are going to start by reviewing what is usually my favorite show of the year, or at least as a child, it was my favorite show of the year, and that is the WWE Royal Rumble. So we're going to talk about the Royal Rumble on this episode. We're also going to go back and talk about Season 2 of WWE UnReal and just give you guys some of our thoughts on the random viral clippable moments about WWE Untold, Unreal, Unfake, unfortunately for LA Knight this season. And we're also going to talk about some AEW stuff. MJF is the AEW champion. We're going to talk about AJ Styles and his career, and some roster switches happening with people who used to have different names, and then some people who have the exact same name. But anyway. So, before we go any farther, folks, we ask that you be kind, like, and subscribe. Watch Wrestling with Mike Wellman. You already know, folks. Follow the show on YouTube, Threads. I am on Threads. We are on Threads, folks. We are not indulging the platform formerly known as Twitter any longer. So we have an Instagram, a Facebook page, and wherever you find your podcasts, audio podcasts, YouTube video, like, subscribe, and share. And we look forward to having zero problems, big fella. Isn't that right, wrestling fan Kris?
Correct.
Wrestling fan Kris is my heater. Wherever I go, if I'm not loudly making people angry, wrestling fan Kris jumps in and understands the mission.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
All right, so let's talk about the 2026 Royal Rumble. This one went down in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And, they built this stadium in just a few weeks. Giant outdoor stadium.
Wow. Wonder how.
Not sure if it was union labor.
It had to be, right? That's what it was.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about it, though. So, Royal Rumble was in Saudi Arabia this year. I think people expected a lot more in terms of big name surprises. I think right off the bat we should talk about the fact that there was just no Chris Jericho at this Royal Rumble, and everybody, including myself, just thought that we were going to see Jericho there.
I did, yep.
Because it's obvious that he's leaving AEW because there's no point, and this is part of the AEW guidebook. There is no point in keeping someone off of television for, let's say, 8 months. There's just no story that would ever back that up. So a surprise return for Jericho, you're not aging a fine wine here by keeping him off TV for 8, 9, 10 months. So he's gone, right? And well, he's not gone yet, apparently. We thought, clock turns to a new year, whatever it may be. We just, without knowing the details, you would assume Jericho's gone from AEW. What better place to re-debut in WWE than at the Royal Rumble? He's come back in Royal Rumbles before to WWE. And nope, just whatever it may be, timing-wise, maybe his contract's not quite up. Who knows? I don't have those details. I just know that he wasn't there, and people thought he was going to be, right?
Yep. I did. I was like, I heard he might not be there. I heard a lot of stuff about how he's not really gone from AEW or whatever, but I'm like, no, that's not. He's coming. He'll be there.
Yeah, because my question is, if he was just not entertained, like if he was not going to go to WWE, at this point, wouldn't you just say that? Wouldn't you just say, guys, I'm just not going there?
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, so it must be that there's a time, like maybe we don't know those details, but I would still guess that he's going to go to WWE.
I would think so, yeah.
But he wasn't at the Rumble. We also heard, that Evil was being scouted by WWE, gone from New Japan.
Yep.
And nope, he wasn't there either. My prediction to wrestling fan Kris via text that the entire band Linkin Park was going to be in the Royal Rumble match, that did not happen.
Another disappointment.
You can only shoot for the stars, okay, and hope you get to the moon. But so let's actually start with the women's Rumble match because that one started the show. What did you think of this match overall, Kris?
It was fine. I definitely liked it more than the men's match. I did think it was funny though that they were doing the countdowns, but it was just off. Sometimes people would just come out with 12 seconds left on the clock. Sometimes it'd be 15 seconds left on the clock, and they're coming out already. The participants. I thought that was funny, but I liked it. I just liked it more.
Yeah, I did like the women's match better than the men's match this year. I saw a lot of criticism of both matches online. The women's match I didn't think really deserved a ton of criticism. I mean, yeah, there could have always been more and better spots and moments, but I thought it was good. Overall, the selection here, not a ton of surprises, right? I think the biggest surprise in the match was the return of Brie Bella to WWE.
Yeah.
At number 29.
That was a surprise, yes, actually.
She was the only... the Bellas were the only Hall of Famers in this match. So no real, stars of the past, let's say, on the women's side coming back. That was a big thing in the earlier years of the women's Rumble.
And that's okay to me. I mean, I also think you can be mad that like AJ Lee wasn't in it, but that doesn't mean the match was bad,
Yeah, that would have been that was another one I was hoping or anticipating we would see, just because she's literally already back essentially in WWE on whatever limited schedule. Yeah. So she's already back. You can't bring her back. She's already back.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But the match also like flowed a little better to me, I think. Like it felt smoother than the men's Royal Rumble.
Yeah. A lot of the younger talent here on the women's side. So I'm just going to kind of go through. Charlotte was number 1. Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, a tag team, number 1 and number 2. So I think they're officially overdoing it with tag team partners coming out as number 1 and number 2.
Yes.
Right? Okay? Because nothing is ever going to top, I don't remember the year, if it was like 89 or 91, with Demolition coming out. Like Howard Finkel was just so pumped up to announce. So Axe is number 1, right? So Howard's like, 1/2 of the tag team champions, X. And they play his music, right? Dun, 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 and he comes out and then and now the individual who drew number 2, and it's just the Demolition music again. So Howard just like, and now the other half of the tag team champions. like Howard, how did you know? Are you just so amped up that you just heard Demolition's music twice in a row?
Yes, that's how into us. That is the best one.
And they just start going to town on each other. These guys just start punching each other right off the bat in this match. They don't even think twice. There's no like, should we, shouldn't we,
That's how important it is to try to win a shot at the title.
Exactly. It's every man for himself out here, or every woman for themselves.
That's right.
So they actually did, though. Charlotte and Alexa actually did basically team up, in the match. And then we had Kiana James, Nia Jax, Ivy Nile, Lola Vice. Had a couple good spots in there.
Yeah.
Candice LeRae, Jordan Grace. They could have done a lot more with Jordan Grace, I thought, in this match.
Agreed.
Becky Lynch was not really in this match for very long. She was really not a factor.
Crazy, yeah.
Sol Ruka made it to the end. Sol Ruka, the final 3, basically.
Yeah, I think that was a good part though of the match. Absolutely.
She was great in this match.
Oh yeah.
Roxanne Perez, who was the Iron Woman last year, not so much this year. Maxine Dupree in the match for about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Natty, folks. Not Natalia. Natty was in this match.
That's right.
And I actually think that this is great. Like, how long has she been coming out as Natty on WWE officially? Has there been
not that long?
Like, has there even been more than a handful of times where she's been able to be this new character of Natty?
I don't think so.
Because I think it's good as well that she can kind of like she can come up with this character that is awesome and cool. And it doesn't have to be this like main event level idea. It can be like just her evolution, into this character. And then whether it's even if she doesn't get to the women's championship with this new character, it can still be really useful, I think. And it's just really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Liv Morgan coming in at number 14. Lash Legend, folks, in this match for 38 minutes. Can we talk about Lash Legend? First of all, in general, Lash Legend is bigger than Raquel Rodriguez, folks. And they're Kevin Nash is telling Raquel Rodriguez to work bigger. Lash Legend is bigger than her.
Yeah.
And I think that and the women's side, because they were in Saudi Arabia, they all had to wear full body gear. So to me, that sort of put them all as like you could just see who was bigger than who a little bit easier. And also Lash Legend was just covered in purple this entire match, like completely one tone purple. Some cool gear in this one. Roxanne was dressed as Shigo.
Yeah, that was cool. Didn't know that till after. Sorry, guys. Didn't catch that right away. My bad.
Someone who, we're not quite there yet. So Lash Legend, in my opinion, one of the MVPs of this match.
Agreed. She was good.
Zelina, Raquel, Chelsea Green, awesome performance per usual from main event.
She's always awesome.
Can we just start calling Chelsea main event Chelsea Green on this show?
Yes, let's do it.
A person who I am surprised did not win this match, Julia. Come on, Julia's in this match. Perfect time for her to win anyway.
Yep.
Io Sky, with Io being the tag team champion, I didn't think she was going to win. But if she wasn't, like, you're not going to have the tag team champion win the Royal Rumble, right? Like, Axe and Smash didn't win.
Yeah.
But, with her being the tag team champion, I'm like, man, they're not going to have the tag champ win. But in my opinion, going in, Io is like, she hasn't won one yet,
Good point, yeah.
Asuka in this match. Cannot sleep on Asuka. Rhea Ripley, Bayley, JC Jane, Nikki Bella, Lyra Valkyria, Kalani Jordan, Kairi Sane, Brie Bella, and then number 30, also returning Tiffany Stratton, who actually I thought Tiffany was going to win when she came out at number 30, to be honest.
Yeah, right.
So
pretty good. I mean, I liked Tiffany. I always liked Tiffany Stratton. I'm glad she was back. And I love Julia. I always have. And I just wish she would do more.
Yeah, they have they just have so much talent that it's like
true,
not a bad problem to have. And they're obviously choosing some people. But no, for sure. I would have.
And like, I don't mind that Liv Morgan won. It's fine. I get it. But I wish the Rumble was used a little more for like someone like Roxanne Perez or even Chelsea Green, somebody who could use a little bit more of a boost into the main event level. That would make me a little happier. But it's all right.
This was like their 9th Women's Rumble. So I'm fine with them sort of still establishing who are the best. Like the best should win, like Charlotte, Rhea, Bianca, like who are the best of the best? That's who should get these wins. And yeah, you could even more so on the men's side, which we'll get to. You could use it to build somebody up, but the problem is if you go too much too soon, if you're not really going to have that winner, win at WrestleMania.
You're right.
Why would you? A Rumble win is like, okay, so you give it to Roxanne, but if you're not really going with Roxanne all the way, you know what I mean?
Great point. Yeah, absolutely.
It's almost bad. It's, so I'm fine with, Liv Morgan winning the Rumble. To me, makes sense. She's not 1-1. It's just,
Yeah, that's good.
And then she comes out on Raw, and is that my phone on the loudspeaker?
I think yours? It was. I have to disturb on, so.
Oh no! Why are we even on? Why is the Bluetooth even on here? And it's on full volume, of course. Not only is my Bluetooth turned on my phone on the show, so anybody calls me, it was just going to come on. Those dinner time phone calls that we all get where we have to run over to the phone when we're trying to eat dinner with our family and the phone's ringing off the hook and we got to go over to the phone and say, God damn it, I'm trying to eat dinner with my wife and kids here. And then you go back to the table and you flip the table over.
Yeah, like we do.
All because you get phone calls during dinner time.
Shut up, pal.
Don't call me at dinner time. Don't sneeze in my presence. So, back to the Women's Rumble. I like the spot with Chelsea where she's like eliminated, but then she's like walking over.
Yes. Yep. She's great. Just on a little tangent, someone like Chelsea Green, she's so good and so fun all the time. Like, she never wins anything because they don't need to. They're never going to put her over anything because they don't need to. She's so good, and that kind of makes me mad. But hey, at least she's entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, I still think now that it's been put out there, which we'll get to season 2 of UnReal, but now that it's been put out there, the idea from season 1 where you have Chelsea Green come out as number 30 of the Royal Rumble and there's nobody in the ring. I think, for one, she's the only person you can do that with, and 2, you kind of have to now. Like, and
it's
I know
awesome idea.
It's so crazy. Like, you would have to do it on a year where she has to be like red hot, you know what I mean? Where people are just like behind her, and whether there's like a rush of fan support or something, where they just won't stop cheering her, or where like the fans are taking over the segments, kind of like they did with Brian and stuff. Yeah. And then that's when you would do that.
That would be fun though. I hope that happens.
Is to the point where if like the fans get to the point where, Chelsea's undeniably the fans' choice, that's when you do it.
Looking forward to it.
Just imagine Chelsea Green walking out, like there's nobody in the, like that's never happened before. There's no one in the ring. Chelsea Green walks out, or this is a funny thing, because I'll even add on to this UnReal fake story that, the booking room, the writer's room. So Chelsea comes out and it's clear what's about to happen, but she acts like she's about to go into the fight with Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
Like she's standing there at the entrance, not like, oh my God, I'm just going to walk in and win. Like she acts like she's about to go like into a UFC fight, and like she stands at the entrance, like toughening up, and then goes in the ring and just wins.
Yeah, that's good. That's real good.
But anyways, we got Liv Morgan, and that was my prediction going in. We did not see Bianca, so apparently her finger injury is serious.
Yeah, I was surprised about that the most, I think.
So she's not ready to be back. I mean, obviously, if we saw Bianca, I would have picked her to win. But I think she was like my second pick to win. She wasn't even in the match. So there you go, folks. So so we got Liv Morgan, and then she came out and she kind of got in Stephanie Vacquer's face on Raw, the Women's World Champion. Didn't exactly say, I don't think, that she was picking her, so she might still go and harass whoever the WWE Women's Champion is at the moment, Jade.
I mean, at least to go back to Liv Morgan winning, I think it is fresh though, because a match with Jade or a match with Stephanie Vacquer will be fresh and fun. So I guess it's okay. It's okay. I shouldn't have been so mad about it.
Yeah, and there's tons of stuff they can do with Liv and Roxanne and Raquel.
Yep.
Whatever it may be, with if one of them wins, like if she wins the championship, one of them wins Money in the Bank, or just one of them they're all about the stories with turning on people now. So everything's Paul Heyman,
Yeah.
Paul Heyman stories. Paul Heyman's version of Twin Peaks.
I mean, I'll watch it. I do.
So So yeah, so we'll see what they do. Will Liv? I would probably guess that whoever she faces, she's probably going to win the belt at WrestleMania. That's my.
I think so. Yeah.
You know. All right, so we'll get to the men's rumble, which headlined the show. Then we got this career-ending match: Gunther retiring the phenomenal AJ Styles. So Gunther and AJ Styles, this was a good match. Gunther beats AJ, and then his career was on the line, so he's forced to retire. So AJ Styles has had some good kind of wrapping it up in the territory matches over the past few months, year even. Obviously, we've been focused on this John Cena retirement tour. So that was a year of our lives. And now it's like anybody else that just is also feeling the need to retire. It's like, well, you just got to wait your turn. And then also you're not going to get a whole year because they would be like the next 8 years of people just retiring, you know? So we don't know. Is this truly the end? Because after the match, AJ Styles went to put his baseball gloves in the ring, but then he didn't. He put him back on as if he's like the Undertaker coming back to life, you know? So what I gleaned from that was this is the end of AJ Styles in WWE. I don't know how long of a run he plans on having, but he wouldn't be the first or second person to retire in WWE and then pop up in TNA. I mean, obviously, it would be years later for Flair and Foley, but he'll be in TNA is what I'm saying.
Yeah, like I think because do you think they would let him like if he was going to be completely away from WWE, like not TNA, like going to AEW or New Japan or something? Do you think they would let him do that whole thing?
I think his contract was up, so I think he was just done with them, and they wanted. I think it is a retirement in a way, but not a final. I think if I had to guess, I would say we're going to see AJ Styles wrestle at least once in AEW, TNA, and New Japan.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. I don't know how you go to AEW for one match, but I don't know how you go for much longer either. So,
which would be super fun. That's gonna be fun. I love that he's gonna pop up everywhere. That's gonna be super fun.
I just feel like that was kind of a thing of like, okay, I'm done here. It just really seemed like I'm leaving the territory. Like I'm not leaving the game just yet.
I agree. I just think it was weird. Like I feel like they wouldn't let him do that. But I guess what are you gonna do? Like you said, his contract was up. Like he didn't resign. Like what does he care if they were like, don't do it, AJ? And then he does it.
Yeah, I think it's a way to get a retirement in, and especially for Gunther to retire another old timer here. AJ Styles obviously still probably the best of all the people that Gunther's retired. Still capable of having the best matches. So Gunther now, he's retired. Goldberg, which we're all thankful for.
Yes.
John Cena. Now AJ Styles. Wow.
Who's next?
Well, I think John Cena told us who was next when he went on, I believe it was the Chris Van Vliet show, and said that Brock Lesnar was looking to wrap up his career in Minnesota this year, which is where SummerSlam is. So I would guess that my booking decision would be to have Brock Lesnar be retired by Gunther also this year at Survivor Series. SummerSlam.
Awesome, actually.
At SummerSlam.
Yeah.
At SummerSlam in his own hometown.
It makes perfect sense. Yeah, that's good. I like
Minnesota. Yeah, so and then but beyond Brock even, is there anyone else that Gunther can retire? Who's in retirement area in WWE right now? Rey Mysterio, right?
Yep.
I would not do Gunther for that one.
It has Dominic written all over it.
Yeah, and then you beat Dominic.
Like always, yes.
So then there's, how much longer is CM Punk going to go for? The real question is how long is this career-ending, career-killer gimmick going to go for? Because, you could bring Jericho back to WWE, have a whole year-long retirement run for him, then Gunther retires him too. Like, is anybody else going to retire people besides Gunther? No. You know? Like, who else, who else?
Do you think that Randy Orton's coming up to retirement soon?
Exactly. Another guy, Randy Orton. So I mean, Randy Orton was already like, we thought he was done with his most recent injury, and now he just keeps coming back, and he just looks like a more, muscular version every time.
He's 2 sizes bigger than he was when he left.
He looks like a Deathclaw from Fallout. So I don't know how much bigger he can get, basically. So, but eventually he'll have to retire as well. So yeah, it's like how the purpose of Gunther retiring everybody is you get all of this, like, it's like you're stealing their souls, but then now you're the big bad guy, because who would want a good guy who just sucked up 6 people's like souls?
Yeah.
A good guy doesn't do that. Like, that's the evil Doctor Strange, not the good Doctor Strange.
Yes.
So if Gunther becomes this like uber supreme Gunther, eventually, a good guy comes along and then has to beat him too, right? In a year or 2 or whatever.
Yeah, why does my brain say that should be Carmelo Hayes? It doesn't make sense to me, but I just like that.
I mean, it depends. Like, it depends how long. Like, because Gunther, you want him to have that like run at once he establishes himself as the career killer, which he already has, obviously. But if you're going to keep doing it,
Yeah.
And I do think that if you wanted to, you could probably have one more match with Ric Flair, bring him in for Gunther.
Yeah, but that would be a retirement match. That would be a death match, literally.
It would be. They could do a death match, and Ric Flair has to keep doing cameos until he dies in the match.
Oh no!
Oh no! The match continues until Ric Flair stops doing cameos that people overpaid for.
Oh God! It won't take too long though, because those cameos are pretty short.
The more videos I see of Ric Flair, like, do you remember when we were kids and you would hear about like WWF having the rules about the wrestlers needing to be nice when they're out in public, and like, have you ever seen a wrestler be more rude to people, to fans, than Ric Flair? Routinely, like so many times.
Especially now as an older man.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's out there. Why are you out in public if you're going to be mean to people who come to see you, is my question. He's like signing the autographs like, yeah. Or he's like giving drunk cameos, or he's telling people like, why did you get married? You're just going to get a divorce.
Thanks, yeah.
But bring him in for a match. That's what I think. His career's not over. So who knows what's going to happen with Gunther, but I'm going to say, like I said, AJ Styles, WWE, he's WWE retired, I think.
Yes, agreed.
All right, then we get into the WWE Championship match at the Royal Rumble. Drew McIntyre defeated Sami Zayn in this match. I thought Sami was going to win this match for sure.
It's a pretty good match. But I didn't think Sami has zero chance to win, in my opinion.
Wow. I was hoping for any, I thought any and all options were on the table with Sami both winning, and then you can revert right back to whatever you want very quickly. You know what I mean? Like, you could have Sami Zayn, and I'm going to be in this basement saying Sami Zayn should win the big matches until I am as old as Ric Flair, probably.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the drunk guy being like, Sami should have won. Sami should have fucking won. But I thought that this was the perfect opportunity for Sami Zayn to win. There's no better place, because he speaks Arabic, and this fan, he's probably the most popular wrestler, right, with the Saudi Arabian fans, one of them. And it's always Sami Zayn's time, right, when he gets into these moments. I mean, you're saying you thought he had no chance. I thought he was going to win.
I guess that's good. I wanted him to win, though. I want him to win big matches too. Trust me. It didn't seem like they were going to put that title on Drew McIntyre like they did, and then have him lose this quickly.
And to me, all the whole coronation of Drew, to me, that was like them saying, all right, Drew, this is what you got, because what you don't have is like 9 months of this. So you're going to go to all these European cities, and you're going to be like welcomed as the hero, because this is it. This is your moment, But no, he won. So Drew beat Sami. I love Drew McIntyre, don't get me wrong, as WWE champion. Yeah. I just thought that moment that we're all about making moments now. We don't do stories. just moments.
Ugh. I'm with you though.
My voice, my impression is evolving along with Triple H evolving, you know? So I'll just give you the whole thing. We were gonna go with Sami and we were gonna have him win, and then we were gonna put the belt back on Drew. We were gonna do it on the flight back to America before the show even started, but you know, Sami couldn't come through for us. So you know, we got Drew.
That is a good impression. It made me mad. That's how good it was. I was getting annoyed.
I mean, he went online and he tweeted that we told him that he wasn't going to be the champion.
Oh, I can't.
There's so much more. Like, I'm just trying to think, like, what can I not say? I don't want to go too far with the he's no longer conference call Paul, right? Now he's like the writer's room Paul.
Writer's room Paul is good. Yeah, that's good.
But anyways, the writer's room did not write down the name Sami Zayn in this one, and they could have.
They should. Yeah, I mean, do you think he's going to win the Elimination Chamber and then have a rematch and then win at WrestleMania?
No, I think Cody's going to win the Elimination Chamber.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. I'm just dreaming here. I'm hoping.
Look, every time Sami is in this spot, remember the Elimination Chamber in Montreal a couple years ago with Roman? I was like, yes, I know it makes no sense. Have Sami Zayn win the goddamn WWE Championship at the Elimination Chamber. I don't care about anything else. And then it didn't happen.
Yeah, we should have known that Roman was going to beat Cody at that WrestleMania after Sami Zayn didn't win. That's why he didn't do it. We should have known.
There's just these moments where Sami Zayn gets to these moments and you're like, do it. Just do it now. I don't care about anything else. But I don't think actually it'll ever happen either, you know?
Yeah.
So I will keep hoping it will happen each time, but I don't think it will. Like, basically, you could have put the belt on Sami Zayn and had him lose it again on Raw or on SmackDown. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. It would have been great.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, that's what they should have done in the Elimination Chamber. But they couldn't, I know.
Yeah. So, but anyways, back to, you know, what we do have, which is Drew McIntyre as WWE champion. I think Drew McIntyre has had so many, like, making it right up to the brink and then not, you know, it all started with his big moment, right? Like, he wins the Royal Rumble in 2020, then COVID happens, so he has to win the championship from Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania in the Performance Center, right?
Yeah,
so then, and then it's like everything is kind of based off of that after that, where it's Drew's moment got taken from him, and then now he's mad about it. He's got a chip on his shoulder. And even when he wins, you know, going to WrestleMania 40, right? So he won the PC WrestleMania. That was WrestleMania 36. WrestleMania 40, he wins the World Championship from Seth Rollins, immediately loses it to Damian Priest, right? So there was these, like, there's always these Drew gets to the big moment, and in some cases, you know, he even wins the championship, and he just doesn't get the whatever it may be. In COVID, it was the crowd, you know, and now he was world champion for 2 minutes, and then you got to this point where when he had that 3 stages of hell match with Cody, where it's like, listen, if Drew McIntyre does not win this match, you cannot keep putting him in these title matches. Like, you are doing him zero favors by having him lose all the time. And then right there, that was the moment where he won. And I thought it was good that he won. Shook things up a bit in the kind of the low time before the road to WrestleMania. And it's good that even though I say that I wanted Sami to win, it's good that Drew, I think, will be the WWE champion going into WrestleMania. I think that's a perfect role for him. The belt looks so good on him. The swords everywhere. Like, this guy's awesome as like a WWE champion, and as like a bad guy to kind of, for whoever the good guy is, Sami Zayn, whomever going to be Cody, to chase. You know. Agreed.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah, so I'm totally on board with Drew McIntyre as the WWE champion. He was not stale, and it's like he's another guy where it's like all he needs is that moment for him to show you why, you know, because he's the OG, he's the original. Go out on the indies and reinvent yourself, right?
Yeah.
Everybody kind of copied him. He's the one that went out. He was like the skinny dude that people couldn't really figure out what all the fuss was about, to comes back. Another guy comes back 2 sizes larger, but also, a lot better as well.
Yeah. I will tell you this right now. When Cody beats him at WrestleMania, I'm going to be sad.
And I love Drew. It's like there's so much going on both on WWE and like in the world and on our feeds and everything that someone like Drew doesn't get appreciated for his character work. Like when he comes out after winning the WWE Championship, he says, "I prayed for this and it happened." And it's like, yes! It's like a callback to when Punk fucking got injured and he says, "I prayed for this and it happened."
Yeah.
And it's like everything about him is like this bitter, petty, like he remembers everything. Like he won the damn world championship that's eluded him for so long. And then he's just trying to think back to a meme where he was saying, "I prayed for this and it happened," about Punk's injury. Amazing.
Great job.
So yeah, so now let's talk about the men's Royal Rumble match. All right. This was another one. There were a few surprises, but I listed off about 8 guys before this match that I thought could have been in it. We did not see the Red Rooster, Terry Taylor. I was very surprised.
Biggest disappointment of the night.
Yeah, but so there was, at times, there was so many like main event level wrestlers in this match that they almost like it's almost impossible for them not to, like, they messed this up, and it was like there was no limit to what they could have done, and they didn't really do very much with all these guys, right? There was so many guys. Think about it. You've got Jacob Fatu, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Brock Lesnar, Gunther, all these big guys in this match. Solo Sikoa, Braun Breaker, and you didn't do anything, right? So like let's go through the match. Entrant number 1, Obafemi. This is who should have won this match.
Hell yeah.
Obafemi, right? Because when you bring in someone and they're supposed to be this big, like, undefeatable monster, okay, well, once you defeat that person, like, when did Kane, like, Kane didn't lose his first match until, like, he showed up in October. He didn't lose until WrestleMania. To the Undertaker.
That was the Undertaker, so, like, that's not even count.
So anyways, Obafemi, once he came in at number 1, I knew he wasn't going to win because there's no way somebody as big as Obafemi is staying in this match the whole time.
Yeah.
So then we'll talk about this next, this whole scene that unfolded here. Number 2 in the Royal Rumble, in the match for 10 seconds, the person who I actually thought was going to win, Braun Breaker. Mm-hmm. This was, I understand that it set something up, but listen, there's so many ways to set things up in a Royal Rumble match, right? Braun Breaker, the person who everybody thought was going to come in here and just murder everyone, right? In the match for 10 seconds because as he's coming out to the ring with Paul Heyman, the masked man returns, or a new masked man shows up, right?
Yeah.
A black hoodie wearing member of Retribution decided to attack Braun Breaker. Now, Paul Heyman, as Braun is getting attacked, is screaming, "That's Seth Rollins," because the Vision had turned on Seth Rollins, writing him off TV during his most recent injury. Yeah, okay, yeah, injury.
Sure, pal.
Yeah, buddy. No, I'm sure he's injured. But
yeah.
So it's supposed to be Seth Rollins, right? So this person, they act like Dean Ambrose, they act like Seth Rollins, but then they did like the super kick. Like, who is the kick? Who are they trying to impersonate? Because the first masked man, which was Austin Theory, he also did these like low, almost like the Usos super kick. Is it just that everybody does that move now? Is that what they're saying? It's a ubiquitous move? So it's no one's move? It's like if you did the pedigree. It's like, who is it? We don't know. 17 guys do the pedigree.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, I'm like, is he supposed to be somebody specific with these kicks?
I don't think so.
So yeah, so we got a little bit of Dean Ambrose, a little bit of Seth Rollins, and I am pretty sure that the person underneath that hood is Aldo Montoya, the Portuguese man of war.
Definitely.
Asking people for money.
Sorry, he can't send you the shirts.
He needs you to. He's texting people saying, "I'm the masked man, and I need a ride to Raw. I need gas money so I can get to Raw." No. So yeah, the Masked Man. Do you have a theory? Because now they're playing games with us where it's different guys. Oh, you know what I was going to say when I thought of it? The joke for the show was supposed to be, because you saw a white guy's face, the joke was going to be, I'm fairly certain that this was Montez Ford.
That's good. Yeah.
It was either Dean Ambrose or Montez Ford underneath that mask. Guaranteed.
I think that it's definitely not Seth Rollins if Paul Heyman was saying it was Seth Rollins. I don't know. I heard a theory that it's Adam Pearce, and I think that's super cool, but I don't think it's him.
Well, can we put a pin on Adam Pearce for a second? Because I want to come back to that. But
yeah,
I think it was Logan Paul. I think it's supposed to be Logan Paul.
Okay.
Meaning, like, they're going to say it was whoever. Like, either they're going to say, oh, it's Seth Rollins, and Seth just couldn't be there that night to do his job.
Yeah.
And then it will be Seth Rollins. Or it's Logan Paul, and it will be revealed as Logan Paul. That's what I think.
Ugh. Great.
Well, bud, learn to love it, because that's what Ric Flair said.
Making moments. Before we go on to like Adam Pearce, whatever you want to say, I do think that Braun Breaker should have went to like the last 3 people in the match, and then somehow went outside. Then the person attacks him and screws up him winning, because it's a little bit more hurtful when he's about to almost win. That sucks even more. And we could have got Braun Breaker for like 45 minutes, but hey, whatever.
Well, I know the way they booked this match, I know they were, and I don't know why, it was like, to me, it was like they were trying to avoid people being in there at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
And okay. I don't know why they couldn't just let us have these moments, right? Like, so to me, it was like, not only did they take Braun Breaker out and they started a story with this mystery now, but they also took him out so he didn't have to interact with like a Brock Lesnar or a Roman or Jacob or for whatever. To me, this whole match seemed like that. Like they were just trying to keep all these guys away from each other. And so we got Braun Breaker. He gets eliminated by Obafemi. Obafemi's just taking people out. Everybody's coming in, going out. I wish this would have kept going. Matt Cardona, 55 seconds in the match. Rusev, 32 seconds in the match. Rey Mysterio was in there for 2 minutes. And okay, so then we got Rey Mysterio was in the match, Rusev, Matt Cardona, Damian Priest, Javon Evans was in the match for a while. And then my favorite surprise of the night, coming in at number 9, representing AAA, Mr. Iguana.
I knew you were excited, yes.
He was in the match for 2 minutes. He got a double choke slam. Layeska got choke slammed by Damian Priest, and then got eliminated by Trick Williams, who was next in the match. Trick Williams was in the match. Cody Rhodes was in this match. And then this is another thing that bothered me. Out comes El Grande Americano, a.k.a. Ludwig Kaiser. And then the next entrant is original El Grande Americano, Chad Gable, and they couldn't even coordinate their outfits together. You know?
Why would they? Come on. You know?
So you're telling me that in the case of Braun Breaker, you have a character who is complaining that their random drawing was not random and it was fixed against them. And the authority, Adam Pearce, is saying, no, it was not. It was random. And then you're going to tell me that these 2 Americanos came in at 12 and 13 randomly? Not buying it, son.
Don't think so.
Not buying it, Pierce. So speaking of Adam Pearce, so Adam Pearce right now is, to me, this is like, they're building up Braun Breaker as Stone Cold Steve Austin, and they are building up Adam Pearce as the Mr. McMahon, as an authority that people can actually appreciate and get behind.
Yeah.
I think he's doing a great job. I think it is a little puzzling to me why a boss would scream at someone so bad without just firing them.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you're gonna give yourself a heart attack screaming like that, you know? Like anyone who cares about you at your place of employment would tell you it's not worth it. Calm down, you know? You're gonna get a brain aneurysm getting upset like this.
Yes,
because I've been there. Because I've been there. I've screamed at people like that at work, the way Adam Pearce does. You know? Haven't we all screamed at people just ripping your glasses off, just rubbing your fucking brow? No? Okay. Are you saying I took Blockbuster Video too seriously, Kris?
No, never. I would never say that.
Okay. No, but what I'm saying is, it's like he gets so upset for a. He does go over the top, and I get it. They're trying to build this character where he's like, I don't know if he's going to get physical. I know you suggested it, but it's possible. He's a former NWA champion.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I know that he's coming across as this like now he's the boss who's like, you don't know. He's not just the annoying like office nerd guy where he's like, I've got to tell you that you're suspended, blah, 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 blah. Now he's like, could he be scheming against, the Vision? Is he like taking the law into his own hands, Yeah. And it's cool. And Braun Breaker also is, like, especially after Raw, after the Rumble, I definitely see Stone Cold Steve Austin in Braun Breaker.
It's awesome. Yeah. See, they do some things. I kind of am down on everything lately, but they do some fun things, and that's one of them. Thank goodness.
So back to the Americanos. They were in the match, and they did the Spider-Man thing, but they were not wearing the same. They didn't even wear even remotely the same outfit. Like, come on, guys. Like, they gotta step it up.
Yeah. The Spider-Man thing doesn't really work when you're not exactly the same.
Yeah. So they were in there. So Chad Gable eliminated Ludwig. And then Chad Gable got eliminated by Trick Williams. And then at number 14, we got the debuting Royce Keys, a.k.a. Powerhouse Hobbs, which they showed right on the Titantron. Powerhouse Hobbs. I was like, oh, shit, Powerhouse Hobbs? Then they changed it to Royce Keys, like they do. Yeah,
classic. I'll never forget when Kenta came out like that, and then they changed his name.
They did that with, I think, Asuka, too. And it's an NXT. It's a Triple H thing. Because they can say other people. Like, Michael Cole's like, I followed his career. Oh, really? Where, Michael?
Yeah. NWA, obviously.
I followed Will Hobbs' entire career. Where? Because you're saying the name of every promotion left and right on this commentary. I just think it's funny. But yeah, no, Powerhouse Hobbs, now Royce Keys in WWE. They got a lot of big dudes in WWE right now.
Yes, they do.
Austin
Will they do
Theory,
anything with it? Who knows?
No.
Okay.
Austin Theory in this match for 10 minutes. Bronson Reed in the match for 9 minutes. Both eliminated by LA Knight. Ilya Dragunov should have won. Coming into this, oh my God, what an explanation needed for the presence of La Parka in this match. The modern day La Parka, so it's not La Parka, but it is La Parka, but it's not La Parka. It's not LA Park. It's not Los Parks. It's not any of the 7 La Parkas. It's the new La Parka. So just so you know.
Good to know.
Okay, cool. Kind of a waste of spot.
Yes.
Dragon Lee in the match for 3 minutes. Logan Paul in the match for 25 minutes. He came in at number 20. Number 21, LA Knight, one of the bigger pops of the night in Saudi Arabia for LA Knight, folks. LA Knight train still rolling. I think more so after UnReal, which we'll get to.
Hell yeah.
Number 22, Brock Lesnar. So Brock Lesnar was in this match for 5 minutes and 32 seconds.
I gotta tell you, I don't even know who eliminated him. I just knew he was on the floor.
It was during, I believe, Jey Uso's entrance, which is another just puzzling situation.
Yeah.
Eliminated by Cody Rhodes and LA Knight working together.
All right.
Like, these are things that could set stuff up, but just don't. So before Brock was eliminated, and this was like one of my favorite moments in the Rumble, Ilya Dragunov attacks Brock Lesnar and starts chopping him, right? And he will not stop because he's Ilya Dragunov, right? And you cannot, like, think about it. If you're Ilya Dragunov, you want the biggest, baddest guy in this match. And there's a lot of them, right? We were just saying, Royce Keys, Mr. Iguana, just monsters in this match.
Yes, right. Uh-huh.
So, and you're Ilya Dragunov, your goal is to take on the biggest and baddest monsters and beat them. And you got Brock Lesnar in the same ring as you right now. He goes for it, right? And when you go after Brock Lesnar, you cannot tread lightly, right? Not that Ilya Dragunov ever would, but he starts chopping Brock Lesnar. And everybody said that Brock no-sold these chops. I disagree. I think when someone's chopping you in the chest and you start screaming at the top of your lungs, In a way, that's selling. You know?
Pain. Yes.
So, I mean, I think he sold the chops because he was getting chopped, and Dragunov would not stop with these chops, right? And Brock just picked him up and threw him out of the ring. It was hilarious. It's like, what?
Well done.
He just screams, yeah! And then just throws him. I think, honestly, if he didn't, Ilya Dragunov would still be standing there just ripping him with chops.
Just chopping him, yeah.
So speaking of chopping and throwing men, I got a little critique of this Rumble, more so on the men's side, because we don't have 30 plus years of women's Rumbles to look back at. There's no women's Rumble from 1990 to look back at, so we can only go back so far. But at least in terms of the men's Rumbles, I tend to notice now, this one highlighted it to me that there's a lot of laying down by guys. And I get that at times you want to have a big face-off. We had Brock Lesnar facing off with Obafemi, even though they didn't do shit. They literally faced off twice right as the 10 count was happening for somebody else to come out, and they just didn't do anything. Right?
Yep.
Come on, do something for one. Make these moments bigger. Brock versus Obafemi. Okay, great. Somebody do something to somebody else. This is a battle royal. But yeah, so there's all these guys like laying around, and it's not just in those big behemoth face-off moments. It's just the whole match they're lying around. Whereas I watched, and I believe I got the year right on this one, I believe it was the Royal Rumble 1991, where Hulk Hogan was the winner. He went on to face Sergeant Slaughter at WrestleMania 7, right? Hogan comes out during this Rumble match, and this was when they didn't have a Titantron and they didn't have music during the Rumble.
Yep.
So the crowd would react as they saw someone just come, the physical body of the person coming out, right? So Hogan comes out with his yellow, and he's running down, and the crowd erupts for Hogan in 91. Yay! Right? He gets in the ring, the biggest babyface in the world ever who's going to win this match, and Demolition Smash starts killing him with punches and kicks to the midsection, puts him in the corner, and he's just punching. For one, it was a puzzling thing to do by Smash. You just completely killed this guy's entrance.
Yeah.
Just snuffed it out. But it just didn't stop. It was all punching. Like I was saying earlier about Axe and Smash punching each other in the Rumble constantly. It was a lot of just like walking around like, poof, punch a guy, go around, poof, punch another guy. You know, people were getting punched by people that they didn't even see. Like you would just punch someone in the back as they're going that way. You just punch them in the back. Like that's all it was. It was like you would see like the Barbarian just be like, And these days, everybody just lays down. It doesn't make sense to me why you're in a battle royal. You should just be punching people, trying to throw them over, you know?
Yep.
Everybody's just laying down. I don't get that. Be more like the Barbarian.
Life lesson right there. Be more like the Barbarian.
Yep. So then, so Logan Paul, LA Knight, Brock Lesnar, 23, The Miz. The fact that The Miz is in this match is just so puzzling to me. Like, you couldn't find another guy in AAA. You couldn't. There was literally nobody from NXT who's in this match, but officially, because obviously you have Javon Evans and Obafemi, but they're called up now. They're on Raw and SmackDown, and well, Obafemi's unaffiliated, but there was no NXT official wrestlers. No Ricky Starks, no Ethan Page. You know.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Weird, but then you get La Parka and 2 Americanos. So,
cool.
The Miz comes in here. For no reason at all, The Miz was in this match. Like, he has a family. Don't make him fly on these long flights. I don't care if he wants to go. I don't care if he's willing to do photo ops and meet and greets that other people won't. So, 24, Rey Fenix. Love Rey Fenix's entrance because it's just like 17 double bass pedals all in a row. Like Penta has some double bass in his intro, but Phoenix, it is just it just never fucking ends. The double bass pedal just goes on and on and on. Like how many double bass pedal buttons do you have where it just goes endlessly?
Not enough, pal.
That's how I know. That's how I know it's Rey Fenix. It's by the double bass. So then we got Jey Uso at number 25. All right, so Jey Uso comes out. They ran it back with the music, ran it back. Him and Roman are about to yeet, and then Roman yeets Jey Uso. Not really.
That was funny.
But then, so Roman Reigns comes out, number 26, the winner, the eventual winner, spoiler. Jacob Fatu comes out, number 27. These guys faced off, but we didn't really get much. And at this point, when they, like I don't think they're saving that for us. I think we're just not going to get it. Roman versus Jacob, you know?
I think so. I think you're right.
Penta, why was Penta at 28, for God's sakes? You know, this guy could have been doing all kinds of stuff in this match. Randy Orton, absolutely. 29, and number 30, coming out after he already wrestled, the only guy in this match who had already wrestled, Gunther. Who I thought, once I saw Gunther, I thought he was going to win. I was just like, why would you put him in this match as one guy who already wrestled tonight and then he doesn't win?
Yeah, super weird.
And he came up short against Cody in that match 2 years ago. But anyway.
Do you think maybe they had somebody in mind and they fell through and they're like, shit, we need someone?
I don't know. I mean, it's possible that they had, backup people because you are in Saudi Arabia, right? It's like you kind of got to fly people out there well in advance. So if somebody rolls their ankle or something, you don't got ice show speed that can just be standing there and be like, what you mean? Hey, Speed, you're in the Royal Rumble match. Okay. And we're changing your name to X-Pac.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was a lot of guys where it's like, ooh, I want to see Jacob Fatu and facing off with Brock Lesnar or Oba Femi. Everybody was gone before everybody that they could have interesting interactions with got in. So it was not a boring match overall. I actually like the pick of Roman winning, especially once you got down to the end and you're like, this is it. Especially when you're waiting for Chris Jericho, essentially the whole match.
Yeah. They
would have done themselves a little bit better to literally tell people in advance, like, hey, there's not going to be Chris Jericho. Something,
leak a report or something, yeah.
And Triple H said that, we got a lot of surprises for this show. Your surprises were Brie Bella, Tiffany Stratton, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Laparca.
Awesome.
Whoa.
See, those aren't surprises. Those are returns. Cool, I like it, but you didn't even get Bianca Belair as coming back. That would be a better surprise.
Get ready to have your mind blown. We have El Dandy versus Aguila.
I mean, God. Reigns winning was good, and it was even better after Raw.
We have Microman versus Mini Mankind.
It's like 1996.
Shotgun Saturday Night. So all in all, just so much left on the table with the men's Rumble match. But that's par for the course these days, right? Roman wins. And what'd you think about this? So Roman Reigns, your Royal Rumble winner, now the 12th person to win the 12th man to win 2 Royal Rumbles. What do you think overall of Roman as the winner?
It's fine. It makes sense to me. You got to build up to WrestleMania. He's going to go get another title shot. It's been a little while. So not that long, but enough for us to forget. And like I said, after his exchange with Punk on Raw, it's awesome.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that in a sec. But before the Rumble, Roman said, and I believe the Pat McAfee show, he said something about how he basically been done as champion for 2 years, and that they haven't really done anything creatively, and that they've kind of gotten stale. And he called out Nick Khan, in my opinion. He said, Nick Khan's doing a great job, but these guys got to step it up. So,
agreed.
And it's just crazy that he said that before winning the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Nick Khan, I know you just picked me to win the Royal Rumble, but dude, do better, man.
It's like I take that as him going they needed the island of relevancy back, so here I come.
Well, they do, and he's still there, so it's fine. It's totally fine. I thought it was cool. Roman's still cool. I think he's definitely also going to win at WrestleMania. I don't think you should have Roman Reigns lose at WrestleMania. There's nobody. So Roman Reigns wins the Royal Rumble, and then the pyro out there in Saudi Arabia. Did you watch this pyro to the end?
I really did not. I did not.
It was entrancing. It went on forever. I was counting the buildings. This was, honest to God, I swear to God, a 10-minute pyro explosion to end the Royal Rumble. And it was the entire city of Riyadh. There was 12 buildings. I was counting the buildings in the skyline. They were just shooting off of the buildings. And then I started to lose track with my eyes of, am I looking at the screen, the entrance stage with pyro going off behind the fake buildings? Or am I looking at the actual real city of Riyadh with pyro going off? Can you imagine just, I mean, I don't really know the nature of what people do in Riyadh. It's a big magical looking city on television as it's supposed to be portrayed. Imagine just every building in your city, there's fireworks going off for 12 straight minutes. I mean, I guess everybody probably knows that WWE is in town.
I would be very upset though.
I mean, honestly, Kris, you've never seen pyro go on for this long, or fireworks, in your life. There was 3 different spots where I thought it was the end because it just goes like, and then it's just, and I thought it started to look fake. Like, you know those fake, like, fireworks, like, just, like, here, watch a fake fireworks show on YouTube for the next 12 hours. Not that I do that, but it's just like you're watching these buildings just, and they played like 3 Linkin Park songs, and it's like all the way through, it seemed like. And then it went on forever. It was like 9-10 minutes of pyro, and then there was finally a ending of it, and everything was just completely smoked out at the end.
Amazing.
It was like, who are they doing this pyro for? Like, am I the only one still watching this? It was like a pyro post show for the Royal Rumble. I mean, you got to give people credit when they spend $50 million on fireworks. So that happened. Yeah, so then let's just get to Monday Night Raw to wrap this Royal Rumble discussion up. So Roman Reigns comes out on Monday Night Raw, gets interrupted by the world champion CM Punk, who is looking more and more like what I said when he re-debuted in WWE that night at Survivor Series, where he looks like a guy who will hit your kid at a barbecue and then tell you afterwards, like, he thinks it's okay. You know?
Yes.
Like, your kid was mouthing off to me over there. I smacked him. That's what CM Punk looks like to me.
Perfect.
The hair.
That's so good.
He's walking around with these jeans, and the belt doesn't look good on him, the World Championship, for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm not going to make fun of CM Punk like Kevin Nash did and make fun of him for walking around wearing a shirt all the time. But I just think that the weird hairstyle and then wearing the jeans, and I don't know what's up with these old dudes, and I say that someone told me I was an old dude recently, but these guys wearing Nikes, the old guys wearing Nikes, like, I feel like there's 2 camps of the Nike wearing older dudes, and I'm in one of the camps. There's Air Maxes and then there's Dunks, right? I'm in the camp Air Maxes for sure, meaning I will wear Air Maxes and most likely nothing else on my feet just from now until I die, you know? And some guys go that route and some guys go the Dunk route. Because let's face it, when you get old, you're not dropping money on Jordans, you know?
No, absolutely not.
Some people are, but not CM Punk. So CM Punk is coming out wearing these Dunk lows and Dunk mids. What are you doing, dude? You know? Go back to your Vans. Go buy Vans or something.
For a guy who, like, has been so influential and is, like, one of the greatest, and I think we both have a lot of love for him, he really does piss me off all the time, though. He really is. Just kind of an annoying asshole.
Like, just explain to me the history and why Dunks are cool, and you can wear them. That's all. That's all you got to do. You know? So, anyways, enough about CM Punk's Dunks. He interrupts Roman, and he comes out, and he instantly looks at the camera, and he starts talking about Finn Balor, which understood why I understood it, but I love Roman in the background. Like, what are you doing? Like, this promo could have went sideways, right? This Roman and Punk promo that they had. Roman started, it could have gone down the big dog route, right? But it didn't. Roman just, like, steered it back and brought it up to, like, a new level at the end, basically. So these guys are arguing, Roman Reigns and CM Punk. They're talking about how, you know, I made this place relevant while you were gone, and then you came back, and it was because of me. But then it's like you tricked your cousins, but then you tricked my cousins. You almost tricked my cousins. You almost tricked me, and it reminded me a lot of the Eddie Kingston promo with Punk back in AEW when he was like,
Oh yeah.
nobody wants you here, and I'll be the first one to say it. And Roman brings up CM Punk going and doing a podcast with his friend. Whoa, where are we? The podcast that the doctor for the company that we're working for right now sued him over, and then he got fired on his wedding day by this company and sued. And then that best friend, what happened to that best friend? What happened to that best friend?
Ooh.
Roman, what happened to his best friend? Because I'm pretty sure CM Punk said at the Brawl Out press conference that he was tired of talking about Colt Cabana and then proceeded to talk about it for 10 minutes. And now Roman Reigns is bringing him back up again. Can Colt Cabana catch a fucking break here? What has this man done to anybody? He's the most notorious man in the history of professional wrestling, for God's sakes. Colt Cabana.
He's done nothing.
He's part of the build to the WrestleMania main event in 2026. Come on. I mean, shout out to Colt Cabana. But, yeah, he should have said Colt Cabana, basically. But I think that Punk probably would have saw red at that point. He probably would have snapped like Ken Shamrock if you said the C word. Colt.
He would have. It would have been over.
Roman should just, if it was Drew, he would come out to Colt Cabana's music. Colt Cabana. So Roman, yeah, he brings up, going on a podcast and trashing the company, and then it's like Roman basically ends it with this like exclamation point of like, I hate you, and I'm choosing you because I hate you, and I just loved it. I really like just this matchup as a matchup for WrestleMania. I think it's great. I think it's right there. The only thing better than this to me, we're going to take The Rock off the table now because he's just off the table, right?
Yes.
He's out there in Jumanji or Pride Fighting or whatever he's doing. My daughter loves The Rock movies, by the way. She's obsessed with any movie with The Rock in it now. It's hilarious.
Oh, that's awesome.
We were watching Jumanji, and she, for some reason, she keeps making me go back and watch this movie Game Day.
Oh yeah.
Stupidest movie ever. And she watches it like every night. But yeah, so The Rock, he's off there making more, Safdie Brothers movies or something. No, I think he's done with those. What is The Rock doing right now, by the way? He's got something coming up where he got skinny.
Oh yeah.
And he was going to play like an old guy. He's going to play
weird,
like somebody's grandfather or something. I don't know. But anyways, taking The Rock off the table, the best matchup WWE has, in my opinion, is Cody and Punk, right? Because it's all right. And then you also have Roman and Seth. But we're not getting that, right? So we get best matchup right there. Got to get it out of the way while we still can. Is Roman versus Punk, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that this one could headline night 2 of WrestleMania.
Absolutely, yes.
And I think it's good that Roman had that 4-year run with the WWE and Universal Championships. Get him back in the world title picture, Because then if he wins it and he holds it for a while, it's not the same. It doesn't feel repetitive because it's a championship. It's a newer championship. He hasn't held it yet. And, yeah, Punk and Roman, I think it's going to be a good match. I think that there's going to be, these guys can bring a lot out of each other. Punk can just bring the best out of anybody, really. So hopefully we get that with Roman. And I think, how is Paul Heyman not involved in this, right? Even though he's with the Vision.
I know.
And Brock. Is Brock Lesnar part of the Vision?
I know, right?
Was Brock Lesnar the man in the mask?
Ooh.
That guy was skinny as hell. Wasn't Brock?
No, hell no.
But yeah, I mean, between Punk and Roman, you would think Paul Heyman would be involved somehow. But if not, that's cool too.
It'll be a fun lead up to the match too, because they're going to be fun, just like talking shit about each other. Oh,
yeah, I'm curious because it is February and WrestleMania isn't until April, and they already had a pretty big back and forth to start things off. So I'm really curious, like what they do to actually build this, because it's already right there, Roman and Punk, but you gotta build something in there. You gotta remember when The Rock came back at WrestleMania 40 and he was like doing these 10-minute fucking Instagram videos, and it was like that's what you need, something like that. And I think Punk will come out with some contrived story, about Roman and Samoan heritage, and the Wild Samoans will come up at some point with CM Punk. He'll talk about the Wild Samoans going through Alabama or something in the 70s and 80s.
Super fun. That will be fun. I'm not lying.
Yeah, so that's what we got on the world title main event for WrestleMania. We still have the Elimination Chamber in it's at the end of the month. So that is in Chicago. So I'm not sure. Maybe Cole Cabana show up at the Elimination Chamber. Put him in. So, and then my prediction is, Cody gets into the Elimination Chamber and wins. And then gets Drew at WrestleMania, and then Roman and Cody win at WrestleMania, and then I go to bed.
Sounds like a plan.
I can rest. Oh, what is that Thanos line? I don't remember. But yeah, so the Royal Rumble I thought was a good show because I'm telling you, that fireworks show was amazing at the end, guys. It was really something. But yeah, the men's match was a little lacking. And so we're gonna get into Unreal next, and I think this is a good transition into Unreal. It's like you have all these brains behind the scenes, right? Talking about how much they think about stuff. And how much everything is a piece of the puzzle and it means something. And they got to make sure everybody's standing in every single spot is for a reason. And then they can't give us a lot of good moments in the Rumble,
Yep.
So let's get into season 2 of WWE Unreal now. Kris, did you watch season 2 of WWE Unnecessary?
No. Gotta be honest.
You didn't watch it? Okay.
No.
Well, I'll fill you in on some of the details here as we go. I'm sure you've seen some of the clips.
Absolutely, yeah.
So overall, I actually liked this show as a show, right? Because, I got it pegged. Everybody that's podcasting and talking about this show and tweeting and threading about it online, they're not grading the show as a show. They're grading, what they see on the show, right? So, I hate Michael Hayes. Well, what do you think of the show? You're watching the show, So, for instance, I'm not a big Logan Paul fan. So I watched this show, The Collector's Golden Touch or whatever on Netflix, where it's this guy Golden and has the auction stuff and he collects stuff. There was an episode with Logan Paul. I just skipped it. I watched the show, but I just skipped the Logan Paul episode, I'm not going to watch it and go, I hate Logan Paul. I like this show and I want to keep watching it. So I just didn't watch that one.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So with this show, people are like, well, I don't like what they said about Chelsea. But what do you think of the show? If you watch Game of Thrones and you don't like what Jon Snow said to Sam, does that mean you don't like the show or you don't like the character? It's kind of like the same thing we do with the wrestling shows, right? So I feel like a lot of the negative criticism is the content of the people's opinions on the show, not the actual, did you like the show? So I liked the show because I thought on season 1, they gave you all these diagrams of Triple H, I got to call John Cena on his cell phone, and then I got to call Nick Khan, and then I got to call Stephanie and tell her to pick up some. And it's they gave you the thing I thought was interesting was they gave you the gorilla position laid out in a diagram, right? Which is cool.
That's cool, yep.
And then you find out Billy Kidman is the timekeeper. That's good. That's cool. I don't think that's fake. That's probably legit. Because I think it was in the second season, they asked him, they're like, hey, Billy, how much time did we have on that one? And it's he's just there, Kidman is just the numbers guy now. You got 14 seconds, get moving. He's just looking at his watch all the time, just you see Billy Kidman in the background, gonna hit you with a 7-year itch if you go over your time. Go right back to the Flock days. And Bobby Roode is another one, part of the creative team. He's interesting. He doesn't really do much in this season. He was just kind of there, to be honest. Abyss, the monster Abyss, back again for season 2.
Had to be.
In this one, he was no big scenes. He was kind of just saying thank you or something to Bruce Pritchard at some point. In this one, they did a funny thing where they introduced everybody. And they're like, "Oh, my name is Seth Rollins, but my real name is Colby Lopez." And And they go through all of these names. The one guy whose real name that they did not say was Penta, because nobody knows that motherfucker's name. I guarantee you, WWE's paychecks, they just write Penta. And they're like, dude, we don't know who the heck you are. Here you go. Here's your paycheck. But everybody else, they say their real name, and then they say all the names they've wrestled under when they're kind of getting introduced to the show. And so Becky Lynch was featured in episode 1 of this one. And then Pat McAfee also was in episode 1. And I texted something very offensive to wrestling fan Kris that morning. I was watching it about Pat McAfee that we will not share.
That's right.
But yeah, Pat McAfee, I think the Pat McAfee wrestling experiment is complete. Just to say, I don't think there's guys that come in and they're like, wow, they can wrestle. Dare I say, even Jelly Roll, folks. But
wow,
Pat, I don't see it with Pat McAfee as like a wrestling attraction. He looks to me what he looks like, which is just a dude coming out wearing a chain or 3, and it's like,
exactly, it's perfect.
I don't see, like, if I don't know, I'm just a hater when it comes to Pat McAfee. But and then episode 2, we get the whole R-Truth firing story, right? So Triple H is like, well, I'll just tell you, we sometimes got to tell people that, your contract's up, and then they go on Twitter, and then that's it. And then they say stuff, and they're not fired, but they say they're fired. And then he basically said that, like during negotiations, and this is now me not judging the show, but judging fucking Triple H's bullshit, right? This is what I'm talking about that people do. So he's saying how they told R-Truth that his contract was just going to end because he wasn't kind of coming to the table, and that's a negotiating thing, is telling them your contract's just going to end. So when Truth found that out, he went on Twitter and said that his time when WWE was up. And this is where we get to the inclusion in this season of the Road Dogg, right? Because we learned all about the Road Dogg and Truth and their best brotherly friendship in this episode, about how the Road Dogg and K-Quick were best buds in like 2000 or 2001 and 2, whatever. And we learned about Ron the Truth Killings and how he wanted to be a rapper, and he was meeting people like Tupac, and then he got into wrestling. I believe it was in like Memphis or somewhere in the South. And,
right.
And he wasn't really making it, and then he met the Road Dogg, and the Road Dogg, I don't know if the Road Dogg was doing indie shows. There was like weird house show footage of the Road Dogg, but it didn't seem like it was WWE. Maybe it was. But he like found out that he, was musically talented, and that was the Road Dogg's thing. So they made a bunch of rap songs, and then, now this is how you get Road Dogg and K-Quick, and their friendship just maintained throughout. And then now the Road Dogg is essentially the co-head writer of SmackDown, and the Road Dogg didn't come off great in this moment. In talking about his friendship to R-Truth, he came off great, but he came off like, what is your purpose here on this creative team, because the whole thing was R-Truth wanted to cut his hair, and then Triple H was like, I don't see the point. Like, why is he going to cut his hair? And then the Road Dogg was like, he wants to cut his goddamn hair. Like, what the fuck? And then didn't want to do it. So obviously, R-Truth did cut his hair on TV, but he wanted to surprise, I think, John Cena in their match, because they had a match before. So the story of Truth getting released was they built up this little mini feud with John Cena, and then like right after it was done, he tweeted he was released. So it kind of seemed like they used him to get a great matchup with John Cena, and then they released him. It's kind of what it seemed like, right? Like, we're done with you now. John Cena's retiring, and so are you, Truth. But that's not exactly how it happened, but it definitely seemed like that from my perspective. Was they built up this match with Cena, and then once they were done with Truth. So. And it made everybody upset because he's beloved. He's actually the longest running person in the company. He was there in the Attitude Era, and no one else is. Just R-Truth. Crazy, right?
Oh yeah, that is crazy. Wow.
Like, he is the longest running WWE wrestler. He was on like the posters from like Attitude Era Royal Rumbles and stuff. But so everybody was upset. Truth got released. Triple H comes on and he's like, well, we didn't release him. He said he went online and said he got fired, and he was never fired. And then this was where this was key to me, right? This is like so much of just when we're reading the dirt sheets and we're reading rumors and about negotiations and business practices and whatever you're reading about of corporate like drama and communication and all this stuff that we all like indulge in online. Truth says basically like it felt like salt in the wound, you know? And then Nick Khan called him, and Nick Khan talked with him for an hour, and they came to an agreement, and he signed the contract, right? Right there. It tells me everything I need to know. Think about Karrion Kross and what he said about his contract experience. If you listen to his interview with Ariel Helwani, he said that there was like an intermediary that was delivering him essentially like the offer, and he couldn't go to his own boss and have that personal one-on-one. They put someone in the middle to keep it like corporate and professional, so there's no, you know, really, so you don't have to tell your buddy here, hey, you're fired, buddy, you know? They're going to tell you. Go talk to Steven in Steven's office. He's got some news for you. You know what I mean? So with Truth, he's like, Nick Khan talked to me for an hour. So right there, it tells me Nick Khan is the negotiator, right? He's the one that's soothing, you know, smoothing everything over and being like, listen, it's the same plate of food, but I'm just going to be nice when I'm giving it to you, you know? And if I was rude when I gave it to you, you might not want it, right? So if you're telling our Truth, okay, your contract's up, we're not negotiating. He ended up resigning, I don't have the numbers, for a lesser, obviously, deal than what he, you know, if you have tenure with your company for 20 years, you're going to be making a lot of money.
Yeah.
When they come to you and say, you're now fired because you make so much money, and it's not really what happened, but, you know, it's logical that sometimes people get paid a lot and then they have to take a pay cut. So that seems to be what happened here. And Truth basically said, you know, he spoke with Nick Khan, and then he signed the contract. So there you go. All you have, this is what it's about with these guys, because this is what it's about with all of us. It's just come to me with respect, you know? And that's what Nick Khan apparently did with Truth. So then that's where Truth comes back, reveals himself as like he attacks Cena, right? Then he cuts his hair like right there on TV because he just wanted to cut his hair, change up his look. Truth had a lot of good ideas here. And, you know, they had to go through, there was like a montage of R-Truth when they're trying to explain to the Netflix audience how cool R-Truth is and like what R-Truth is.
Yeah.
You have to explain the context of everything he's doing because it takes so much explanation. It's like Truth's like, I'm going to come out and I'm going to win the Money in the Bank. And then Corporate Kane's like, you're not in the match. And he's like, okay, sorry, Kane, bye. And then he comes out during the Women's Royal Rumble, the Women's Money in the Bank. He's like, he's got the whole John Cena is his favorite wrestler since he was a kid, but he's older than John Cena. And they didn't even talk about the little Jimmy character. I think little Jimmy might be canceled, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that's a little, I don't know what the word is, but I think it's a little taboo for Truth to have an imaginary friend. So I think we're going to retcon cancel little Jimmy because they didn't bring it up once. But everything else Truth did, though, the whole like coming out at the wrong time, he did it so many times over the years, right? And just him popping up places. But then they had to explain it to you like, well, this is why it's funny because he was here. And it's like, there's all this context that's needed. But then once you get it, you're like, oh my God, this guy is a genius, you know? And so it was just an R-Truth episode. I liked it. I did like the character view of someone like R-Truth, because we're just in it every week to week, whatever, on the podcast saying, oh, why did Seth Rollins do this? Why did Braun Breaker smell like that? I don't know. Why did I get so close to him where I could smell him? And then we don't sometimes take a look at the whole, you know, the whole journey of someone like R-Truth, where it's just nonstop hilarity. Like, he's definitely the funniest guy ever in probably wrestling, right? Like, it's just the comedic level he was at is really, nobody in wrestling is as funny.
It's gotta be, yeah.
So they go through the whole R-Truth thing. It's still in episode 2, mind you guys. So then they also talked about Naomi, and they did talk about her and Sasha Banks walking out. They had what's his name? I'm sorry, don't remember his name. They're like the third in command there in creative in WWE. I can't remember his name. He was saying how at the time, different head of creative. Different CEO, different head of creative. So basically they were saying how, like, you know, that day when Naomi and Sasha Banks walked out. They were the tag team champions, and they played the clip of Michael Cole saying on the air that they went and they threw the belts down and they walked out of WWE, you know? So then they basically, their only excuse was, Naomi was like, well, you know, we were getting treated very badly that day, you know? And then they just had to talk about it so they could talk about her kind of coming back and what that all meant. So,
Yeah.
So they talked about how, you know, she was like, we were being, there was things said that day that were very bad and we were treated very bad, so we left. And then basically she decided to come back, obviously, because her husband was there. And so yeah, they just basically went over Naomi's just returned to WWE. And then episode 3, this is where we get... So we get the Chelsea Green. I think that Chelsea Green nonsense is in this episode where Michael P.S. Hayes, who says that he gets credited for all the good moments, right? Like, he's the genius these days, is Michael Hayes, right? He gets credited with the finish for the Roman and Punk and Seth WrestleMania last year, the night 1 main event. That was, like, great.
Yeah.
He's responsible for a lot of these big moments that we see, him and Paul Heyman. But he comes out and he's like, oh, Chelsea Green, she's never going to be a Charlotte Flair or a Tiffany Stratton, but she's right where she needs to be. And it's like, bro, are you on crack right now? Get the fuck out of here. Yes, she should be with Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. Does she have the athletic prowess of like the most athletic female wrestler ever in Charlotte? No. Was she a NIL signing like Tiffany? No. But not everybody is the same in that regard. You can still be at a high level. So it kind of told me and everybody watching that they're basically, you know, and they're showing Chelsea and she's like all high spirits while she's like losing the belt, losing the title to Zelina, then not winning it back. Gets her nose broken on a 619 in this match. And they went to Chelsea and Matt Cardona's now pretty much built, I think, house. And it's like this giant, it's like this giant dick in my face. This giant mansion looking thing that it was unfinished and everything. So it was like they showed them building Chelsea's house. They didn't show the toy room though. But so Michael Hayes, that was the one there. Penta. Michael Hayes talks about Penta. He's like, you know, with Penta, we've got something here that the fans weren't getting. It's like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah, I know. God.
No fucking shit. So they talked about Penta and Chelsea in the same episode. So of course they talked about how Penta and Chelsea have this legendary match from Lucha Underground, right? Penta versus Chelsea, or Penta versus whatever her name was in Lucha Underground. And they're like, maybe we should do Penta versus Chelsea again. But overall, I thought it was a good episode. Just that Michael Hayes line stunk to high heavens to me. And then they go to SummerSlam last year. They talked about the women's evolution, the redoing of the women's evolution. And then we get into the big meat of this season, which was the work of the century, Kris. The real work. And they did a good job on... So if this is my kind of like verdict on this whole layering of the onion of these shows. If they are going to put stuff on the main WWE show that is essentially fodder for this show, all you have to do is do it perfectly, and I'm fine with it, right? Meaning you can hijack Raw for your segments, so that way, we got to do it for this show, so Raw is going to look a certain way, so we can have the backstage footage look a certain way, so it looks like something. All you have to do is make the whole thing perfect, right? And that's what they did with this Seth Rollins injury fake out, right? Because on TV, it came off fine on the main show. I thought it was great. Seth Rollins winning the world title from CM Punk at SummerSlam. Yep. But because now we're going back into not talking about the show, talking about the details of the show. There's this piece of the puzzle that nobody's talking about, which is they said, so Triple H goes through this is the work of the century, right? Where Seth Rollins is going to fake an injury in his match at Saturday Night's Main Event with LA Knight. and they're going to fake the injury. So nobody really knows it's fake. Only the people who need to know are going to know this, right? And the people involved. And then it kind of, which we'll get to it. We'll get to it. So then the plan is he's going to fake an injury in the match. They're going to legit get the medical out there, right? He's going to call an audible to the referee in the match, and then they're just going to end the match as if it's real. LA Knight is going to get mad, and then they're going to leave. Seth Rollins said on this show that he didn't even want to tell LA Knight. They wanted to work LA Knight with this injury in the match, legit. So, and Triple H had to tell him, like, we can't do that. You know, Triple H, the person who claimed to be the mastermind behind the Montreal screw job, right? Triple H. So he says, you can't do that because you'll never regain his trust, and you just can't do that to another person in the ring. You can't make them think you're injured, like legit. So, because we can't do that. And then so much has come out of this one. So this scenario is really underrated as far as like just changing the game right now in wrestling, because it did. And we're still seeing the reverberations of this with everybody questioning not only Seth Rollins, but now you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube on this. Triple H, right? There's this whole credibility issue, right? Which the dirt sheets were talking about it at the time. Like, oh, you're not supposed to work the boys, right? Well, they did. Yes. For sure they did. And they were doing it like this cloak and dagger like thing. So basically, this was the people that they said needed to know, because nobody was going to know about this, and they were keeping track of how they were tricking everybody. And obviously they have protocols with like medical going out there and all this stuff. So Triple H and so Seth Rollins and Triple H come up with the idea. Paul Heyman is present, so he knows about it. They had to tell LA Knight because he's the guy in the match. So now my memory on this episode is not, I didn't like watch it right before we got on here. So I don't remember if they told the referee, but then, and then I don't know if they told the medical people or they only told one of the medical people, right? So then there's like nobody that knows about this. Seth Rollins' wife, Rebecca Queen, she was told about it. She had to lie. And then he told his daughter, Seth Rollins told Rue, who told her summer camp counselor.
That's great.
That her daddy has a pretend injury. Because think about it. After it happened, right, he's going around with the crutches and stuff to fool everybody. So so it was a lot on them to have to like keep up this lie for however long it was there till SummerSlam. But anyways, back to the pre-planning. So then Triple H is seen ringside where he's talking to Cody, and he's like, I got to tell you because you're the guy. You know, like everything we do, we just got to tell you because you're the guy. So they told, I don't know if they told Bobby Roode. Yeah, I think Bobby Roode was in on it because there was they were like asking him like, because they got to play this out. Think about it. They got to play this out in Gorilla as if Seth Rollins is legit injured out there.
Yeah.
So they can't be like, don't worry, this part's like, they can't be like reassuring anybody. They got to be like, oh no, is he injured? And it's got to look like, you know, legit. It's got to look legit. So they've got it when Seth goes down with this injury. They've all got to. Everybody who knows has to act like Michael Hayes is right here. I don't remember if he was. Let's say he's not on the list of people who knew. You got to act like, oh shit, is he injured? You know. So it was really fascinating to see to watch it all unfold. So like I said, they're not going to be able to do this one thing again. But stuff like this, all you got to do is pull it off perfectly. Like I said, in this case, they did. And it was a lot of good drama for this show. So basically, they do the whole thing where, like, they tell LA Knight, and then he's like, okay, whatever. And then, you know, Seth goes down with the injury, and they're asking him. Bobby Roode is talking. I think just so now I'm remembering. Bobby Roode knew. Bobby Roode's telling him like how to play off the fake injury in the moment, right? So he goes up for like a moonsault off the rope. He comes down on his leg, and he's like his leg buckles, and he goes down immediately, as we all saw in the Saturday Night's Main Event. The ref comes over. The medical comes over. They throw up the X. They didn't need Ivar to throw up his own X, and no. Rollins is like acting like, you know, we got to end the match, okay? And then they just hit the BFD, and then LA Knight, like, he acts like shit, you know, like this just didn't go the way it was supposed to, and he's hurt, and then he leaves, and then this is who they told. When did they tell him? CM Punk, right? Because now he's winning the world championship at SummerSlam, and then he's going to get cashed in on, right?
Yep.
So they showed Triple H going over to CM Punk and telling him, and CM Punk's like, okay, this is like, this is great. This is awesome. But, so if you remember, Punk wins the world championship. He's crying, holding the belt. He's wearing his Fantastic Four gear, and then he loses it seconds later. So they're like, milk it. When you win the belt from Gunther, milk it. So he's like, I'm gonna, for about 4 or 5 minutes. And then, so then they do this thing where like Punk, he's hobbled and beaten, and they're like, make sure you look really hobbled and beaten, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't look like you're ready to go. So they got Punk saying he's gonna milk, holding up the belt. He goes to hold up the belt like this, like, I don't know if you can see me, Chris. He goes to hold it up. He gets to like here, and it's like, oh, it was just perfect, right?
Yeah.
And then, so they got Rollins in the back, and he's got the Money in the Bank briefcase, and they're like telling him, because they're going over like the legit moves of each second on the blow by blow of, oh, should I hit him here, there, the knee, all the details that these Carney workers go over. And he's like, so they're talking to Seth Rollins, and they're like, yeah, hit him with the briefcase. Seth's like, oh, I'm gonna. He's like, I'm gonna bash his head in. And it's like, what the fuck? So this thing was just perfect. They played the whole thing. Seth Rollins comes out with the crutches. He turns around like he's gonna leave, throws the crutches down, comes down. I mean, this was up there with his WrestleMania 31 cash-in, especially with this whole behind-the-scenes view of it all,
Yeah.
So then they go, and they're like, ah, ha, ha. So basically, when Seth Rollins comes out, so for him, I think they had to tell the ref too, because he needed obviously to bring a ref. So they're keeping this all a secret from everybody. And then it's SummerSlam in Gorilla, and Punk's like, the match is ending, and then Rollins now he's in Gorilla, so now he can no longer hide it from everybody, right? They got him that far, and then people are like, oh, hello. He's like, yeah, haha, I'm back. So then we had so that was like the peak of this season. We also had some stuff with Lyra, Valkyria, and Becky Lynch. They had a feud, and they were partners, and then a feud and stuff. So basically, Lyra got into wrestling by watching Becky Lynch wrestle as a kid, which sounds crazy. And then they also talked about Becky's awesome entrance song by the Wonder Years, which is like on my Spotify like every day.
Yeah.
DJ X is constantly playing me that song. So yeah, so they went into all this stuff about Becky, about how her favorite band is the Wonder Years, also my favorite band, the best band ever, and just a great song that the guy wrote for her in like 2 days, basically. And it's got all these little Easter eggs in it about her and her life and her family and everything. And they do a thing where they talk about Lyra, and there was like they talked about a lot of missed spots on this show. So like there was a thing with Becky and Lyra. They were having a match, and Lyra's hands were like tied with zip ties, and she wasn't supposed to get out, but she accidentally got out. So then she put her hand back in, and it was obvious and stupid. And it was like downhill from there in that match. And then they also did a thing where the Money in the Bank match, if you remember the Fireball ladder in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Okay.
This was that match. LA and Seth Rollins won it, obviously, hence the Money in the Bank briefcase. There was supposed to be a spot where it's LA Knight and Seth Rollins at the top fighting for the briefcase, and LA Knight actually drops Rollins, so LA Knight is supposed to grab the briefcase, and he's like right there, and then Seth Rollins hurries up and pulls him down, and then Rollins wins. It's with a curb stomp. It didn't happen, the timing was off, so they just both went up there and Rollins knocked him off. And then they get back, and this is the meme of LA Knight getting his ass chewed out by Triple H, because they're trying to explain to him that this spot that he didn't do was meant to make him look good before losing. And you can tell LA Knight is just with that fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm music playing in his head. And Triple H is just like, this is the way it's supposed to be for you up there in the ladder. And he's just like, So everybody felt bad for LA Knight getting chewed out by that one. And then, of course, right, so Chris Park's like, and Bruce Pritchard's like, hey, once they get out there, you can't do it for him. You can't do the moves for him. And he's like, oh, I know. I'm still waiting for that moment where, like, Bruce Pritchard is, like, holding, like, a soda or something in Gorilla, and he goes over to fucking Chris Park, and he's like, well, the thing was overbooked. You don't even know how to do your job. Throws the water on his face. He just... The Monster Abyss awakens.
That'd be amazing.
Like, on this show, like, they show this guy like he's such a dork. They need to at least show his arms so people can see the tattoos, you know? Like, this was the Monster Abyss, you fools. You know? Like...
No, he's a dork.
They are... Yeah, exactly. Now he's a geek. So, overall, you could tell the way they were portraying the featured characters. I don't even mean the wrestlers. They were narrating about the wrestlers. Like Michael, for some reason on this show that's supposed to be geared toward the general Netflix audience to give you a backstage view, a la a Formula One or whatever, Drive to Survive. They're putting these things into this show for the wrestling fans. So it's like they're pegging Chelsea Green. So now she's got this like tag on her of like mid-card only for Chelsea. LA Knight, he's a fuck up who like doesn't get the spots right. Jey Uso, he's got a tag on him that says he like gets gassed out, you know, and can only do super kicks. And it's like they put these tags on people and then they like make other people look like they're the fucking greatest thing since sliced bread, you know, like Penta and Seth Rollins, which is fine to do. But what was more interesting to me was the portrayal of like Michael Hayes and Chris Park and the Road Dogg. And I mean, I think Bruce Pritchard was only on here for a few minutes. I do think that a lot of it is just whatever footage they get, they just kind of got to make something out of. Like CM Punk said in an interview, like he's like, yeah, they've been trying to interview me for a week. I'm probably not even going to be on the show. And it's like, yeah, you're not. You're a big part of this, and you're just not going to be one of the interviews that they then explain and feature because you are being stubborn and for whatever reason you're up to your old tricks here with not wanting to do the job. Like, what are you doing? Why are you complaining about shit all the time? But so CM Punk was not like interviewed. He was like a side character where they were like, hey Punk, what's gonna happen tonight, bro? You're gonna fucking Seth Rollins is gonna come out, you're gonna beat your fucking ass. You know? So he was just kind of like a side character, and there was a lot of side characters, but the Road Dogg stuff to me, like, I don't know if what they want me to believe is closer to the truth or it's so whacked out that they're like trying to like, is the Road Dogg really inept? We kind of think he's not the best creative guy, right, Chris? Like, as the head writer of SmackDown, this is not SmackDown's heyday, right?
No, it is not,
and nor has it been, right? So there's that component of like they made the Road Dogg look kind of bad, but I've always liked the Road Dogg. I don't. You know?
Yeah, me too.
So I don't, and I didn't want, you know, he never came off to me like with these odious opinions like Bruce Pritchard and people type stuff.
No, he's definitely far away from Bruce Pritchard, yes.
Very emotional though. The Road Dogg crying about his best friend Ron Killings losing his job and stuff and all that. And the Road Dogg, obviously he goes into his struggles with addiction and how he doesn't think that fondly of his wrestling career because he was going through so much addiction during it. When he looks back on it, he sees his addiction, which is like kind of sad, obviously, but I think he's like more proud of his work, you know, like now, or his sobriety in general and that kind of stuff. But they just made him look like he's like this unwieldy guy with no ideas. And I don't know. I kind of already thought that about him, but so I don't know, because with the Michael Hayes stuff, they're trying to shove this stuff down your throat that he's this genius, but then he's talking all this smack about Chelsea, and I'm like, dude, I disagree. I'm glad. So my sort of verdict is these guys are high on their own supply, 100%, and every now and then they make something great.
Yes.
You know? So they are high on their own supply, and there can still be greatness, right? There can still be Roman and Seth and Paul Heyman in these moments, but they are geared toward more of just the big moments, right? Like the big main event is the show, is the story. These side characters, Akira Tozawa, Johnny Gargano, they don't fucking matter. You know what I mean? And what they're going to do with them this week and next week, it's all just, time in the meetings that they want to get back in these creative meetings. They don't want to talk about what they're going to do with Tozawa for 10 minutes.
Yeah, no.
They want to end this meeting. Can we do this on a Zoom call, please?
Could this be an email?
Yeah. This show, Unreal, could have been an email. No. So, but I was watching it. I'm just picking up on the, the bullshit aspects of it, but I did like the show, and I hope that they still use it to just show you the characters behind these characters,
Yeah.
and the characters behind these carny liars.
Those are always fun.
Or I should say, the carny liars behind these characters.
That's it. Yep.
All right, so that was WWE Unreal Season 2. Go check it out. Or don't. And, we've been running and gunning here for one of our longer episodes, so I think we're going to call it a day here, guys. We will get into some AEW stuff. Well, actually, before we get out of here, let's talk about Tommaso Ciampa, right?
Yes.
Tommaso Ciampa has signed with AEW, folks, and I think it's amazing. Speaking of SmackDown not having the best writing, one of those people that was on the SmackDown roster that was not really going anywhere was Gargano and Ciampa, who I think had some of the best wrestling matches of the 2010s, personally.
Yes.
So, to me, Tommaso Ciampa is always someone that you should focus some level of your story on, or at least just allow him to just have awesome 5-star matches, So WWE was not doing that. So then, Ciampa announced that when his contract was ending, he was leaving WWE. Very quickly, he was on AEW Dynamite. Fast forward, not that many days, he is now the TNT World Champion, as he referred to it.
I love it.
So, yep, Tommaso Ciampa. So we got kind of a switch there. We got Powerhouse Hobbs. He leaves AEW to go to WWE. Ciampa leaves WWE to go to AEW.
I kind of like it. I feel like they're in the spots they should be in. Hobbs seems like he's more of a WWE guy, and Ciampa seems like he fits better in AEW.
For sure. And now CM Punk can run it back with Powerhouse Hobbs like he did when he shouted him out there. Did they even wrestle in AEW? Did he ever even have that match with Hobbs?
I don't think so.
He might have. I don't know. But I know he was like, when he was talking about all the young guys he wants to work with, he kept talking about Hobbs. So there you go. Take a spine buster, Phil.
Take a spine buster. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and lastly, so yeah, the last sort of free agency that I want to talk about here, because I'm very interested in where this dude pops up, is, did you see this, Kris? Hiromu Takahashi is leaving New Japan.
Yes, I saw.
So I don't think he's leaving wrestling.
Mm-mm.
I don't have my ear to the ground as much with New Japan, but we saw like everybody is leaving New Japan. Naito.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
he's gone. Obviously, Tanahashi retired, the legend, the ace. We had Evil. Apparently, people want to see Evil wrestle.
I guess, yeah.
So Evil is gone. He was another guy that I thought we were potentially going to see in the Royal Rumble. I think Evil will end up in WWE. But for Takahashi, this is interesting to me because Takahashi's leaving New Japan. Let me see. We have a quote here. Where is it? This is via Tokyo Sports. It's set on Fightful. It says, "It really hit me how much I was loved. I knew it, I was aware, but it made me realize just how much I was cherished. Honestly, it makes me happy. My dream hasn't changed. As a junior, I want to hold the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and compete in primetime. Plus, another huge dream has taken root inside of me. Wanting to achieve that is huge. It's a well thought out decision, but I thought that if I didn't act now, if I didn't move now, and end up regretting it 10 or 20 years down the line, then acting now would let me finish my life without regrets. That's why I made this decision." Wow.
Yeah.
His final match, according to this, is at New Beginning in Osaka, February 11th. Wow. So Takahashi is leaving New Japan. Damn. How is that coming through? Because I did it again. I don't know how that came through. I think it's Bluetooth to my computer. But anyway, so Takahashi is leaving New Japan. Kris, do you think he's going to go to either WWE or AEW?
I think he's going to the WWE.
I would much rather see him in AEW.
Me too.
But I do think he will be going to WWE. Because at this point, AEW is still signing tons of people. But at this point in AEW, if you go to AEW, you're taking the spot from someone who could just have a 5-star match on any given day, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So that being said, they don't have a shortage of people who can have 5-star matches. So I don't know why, like he's already been able to be on AEW shows. So, I mean, to me, Takahashi is one of my favorite guys in New Japan, right up there with Okada. And I think that he's going to go to WWE. He's going to be a very cool character, make a big splash, and then they are going to use him to less than 50% of his potential.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's spot on.
I mean, this dude is amazing. He can have 6-star matches easily. One of my favorite juniors of all time. And I hope he has decent matches, but he's not going to be able to have these matches that he could have with like Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, Ricochet. Come on. Who's he going to wrestle in WWE where they're going to have Chris Park over there fucking, oh no, he's Takahashi, he's wrestling too much. Oh, what am I going to do? He's doing too many flips. He's flipping over the crowd. Oh no.
God.
So that's what's in the future for Hiromu, unfortunately. So I'm definitely excited to see Takahashi on either WWE or AEW, and by that we mean coming to a SmackDown episode against Kit Wilson soon.
Yes, that's exact. Oh my God, that's so. Are you in the writing room? Are you Roadbugs number 2? Because that's exactly what's going to happen.
Just wrote it down. Kit Wilson. He's going to job to Kit Wilson.
No disrespect to Kit Wilson. I like him. I think he does good work. But yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, Kit Wilson's cool.
Yeah.
All right, that about does it for this episode of Watch Wrestling with Mike Wellman. Folks, we got some stuff in the pipe coming down that is warm and hot. So stick with us, folks. We appreciate you staying with us to the end of the episode. We appreciate you as always. Be sure to like and subscribe to the show. Follow us on social media. Follow us in the streets. And until next time, my friends.